The story of America begins with hardship. Europeans, seeking wealth and opportunity, landed on the shores of a vast new world. They formed colonies but faced resistance. Native Americans, the original inhabitants, fought to protect their lands and their way of life. The colonists exploited the land for resources. They established systems of labor, often relying on enslaved Africans. This exploitation created deep social and economic divides. Life in the colonies was harsh and uncertain. Colonists struggled against the elements, disease, and conflict. Yet, amidst the hardship, a spirit of self-reliance began to emerge. Colonists built communities, established governments, and cultivated a unique identity separate from their European roots. This growing sense of independence would eventually lead to revolution. The colonists, though initially loyal to the British Crown, grew increasingly frustrated with British rule. They resented taxes imposed upon them without representation in Parliament. The cry of no taxation without representation encapsulated the growing discontent. The stage was set for a momentous clash between a fledgling nation and a global power. Tensions between the colonies and Great Britain finally erupted in 1775. The battles of Lexington and Concord marked the beginning of the American Revolutionary War. Colonists, now calling themselves Americans, took up arms against the mighty British Empire. Led by General George Washington, the Continental Army faced incredible odds. They were outmatched, outgunned, and outmaneuvered by the professional British forces. Despite these challenges, the Americans fought with determination. They were fueled by a fervent belief in their cause, the right to self-determination. The war dragged on for 8 long years, marked by both victories and defeats for the Americans. The turning point came in 1777 with the American victory at Saratoga. This crucial victory convinced France to ally with the Americans, providing much-needed support. The American Revolution culminated in the British surrender at Yorktown in 1781. The Treaty of Paris, signed in 1783, formally recognized the independence of the United States of America. A new nation, founded on the principles of liberty and self-government, had emerged. The American experiment had begun. The issue of slavery cast a long shadow over the young nation. The southern states, economically dependent on enslaved labor, resisted calls for abolition. Tensions between the North and the South escalated, culminating in the secession of 11 southern states and the formation of the Confederate States of America in 1860. The American Civil War had begun. The Civil War was a brutal and bloody conflict, pitting brother against brother. The Union, led by President Abraham Lincoln, fought to preserve the nation. The Confederacy fought to maintain its way of life, built on the backs of enslaved people. The war raged for 4 years, claiming the lives of over 600,000 Americans. The Union ultimately triumphed in 1865, ending slavery and preserving the nation. The period following the war, known as Reconstruction, was a time of great upheaval and change. The South lay in ruins, its economy shattered. Freed slaves faced the daunting task of building new lives in a society still grappling with the legacy of slavery. The late 19th and early 20th centuries saw America transformed by the Industrial Revolution. New technologies and innovations led to unprecedented economic growth. Factories sprang up in cities, attracting millions of immigrants seeking a better life. The railroad connected the vast nation, facilitating trade and communication. However, this period of rapid industrialization also came at a cost. Workers faced dangerous conditions, low wages, and exploitation. The gap between the rich and the poor widened. Social unrest grew as workers organized to demand better treatment. The Progressive Era emerged as a response to these challenges, advocating for social reforms and government regulation.